Our planet is the most amazing creation of the universe. Since the beginning of life, she gives with one hand and takes away with the other, securely hiding all the treasures created by ancient civilizations under layers of earth and soil, to give them back to people when the time comes. No one knows how many mysteries are hidden in the depth of Earth, but we know for sure that we will once again surprise you with the incredible discoveries of archaeologists who have amazed humanity by discovering new mysteries of the planet. Get comfortable, and we wish you a pleasant watching. The Olympic Games are one of the greatest achievements of mankind. Invented by the ancient Greeks as part of a ritual of worship of the gods, they became so popular that even wars stopped and yesterday's enemies shook hands with each other going to the stadiums. There are several visions of the beginning of sports competitions. The first founder was Hercules, after cleaning Augeas' stables from manure. Hercules was so happy about the event that he ordered a festive to Zeus to be held in honor of completion of this labor. The next version tells about another hero, Pelops. Hometown of Pelops, Sipid, was conquered by the Trojan king Second. Looking for a new home, Pelops met a girl named Hypodamia. She was so beautiful that he fell in love and decided to get married. But the bride's father, Oenomus, had a different opinion. The oracle once predicted that Oenomus would die by the hands of his daughter's husband, and to prevent this, the king decided that his daughter would be unmarried and he would receive eternal life. To ensure his safety, Oenomus, as a very skilled chariot racer, challenged all who courted the girl for a chariot race and killed the losers. However, Hippodamia also fell in love with Pelops and agreed with the chief stableman that the stableman would damage his father's chariot. And when Oenomus almost caught up with Pelops, his chariot lost its wheel and the king died. Pelops, becoming king, ordered to hold the Olympic Games every 4 years in honor of this event. The third legend is the closest to reality. According to historical sources, the Spartan ruler Lycurgus and King Ephetus, tired of the constant wars between the cities, decided to take a break between battles every 4 years and hold sports competitions to honor the gods and entertain their respective subjects. In addition to the fact that how Olympic Games were held, the second similar thing in these stories is all the inventors in honor of the event gave the gods a very valuable sacrifice, a bull. We do not know whether or not the sacrifices were real animals in the time of Lycurgus, but we know for sure that later, before the beginning, Olympics Games champions gave the gods small figures of animals, believing that they would bring them victory. This figure was discovered by archaeologists during excavations of the administrative center of ancient Olympia, on the site where stood the statue of Zeus, made of pure gold and decorated with ivory. Moreover, since humanity in those days was not yet able to produce enough metals, the bull figurine was an incredibly valuable sacrifice. Israel is a country where two civilizations meet, the Arab and the European. A legendary land that for centuries has seen the birth of mankind and experienced many cataclysms. This small country has always attracted conquerors who sought only known for them or mystical artifacts and did not find real treasures among its rocky deserts or in the depths of the sea. There are so many jewels hidden in this land that sometimes they found as a multi-layered cake. Israeli archaeologists have discovered ancient artifacts and treasures among the wreckage of 2 ships on the seabed off the coast of Caesarea, according to the Office of Antiquities of Israel. According to archaeologists, the findings made near the ancient city of Caesarea date back to Roman and Mamluk periods, about 1,700 and 600 years ago. Hundreds of Roman silver and copper coins of the mid-3rd century, as well as more than 500 silver coins of the Middle Ages, were found among the fragments. But the main one was a ring with the image of the Good Shepherd, as Jesus Christ was called in those days. Another find was a ring with a precious red stone on, which was carved with a lira, dating the ring a relic from pre-Christian times. After all, the lyra was a symbol of ancient Greek god Hermes and David, king of Israel. Vikings. Not a single year passes without the discovery of treasure from these medieval robbers. Their lives were so rich that their personal items are found even on the American continent. They were skilled warriors and talented merchants and travelled thousands of miles from their islands in search of destiny and riches, and sometimes they were given incredible gifts that fascinate even us. One of the descendants of famous Vikings, named Frans Fugel Westengard from Denmark, found a rare gold earring while searching for metal in a field in West Jutland. It is believed that the earring was a gift of the 11th century from the Byzantine emperor to the Viking leader. The earring is a crescent made of gold plate enamel inlaid in a frame of gold threads, earring decorated with small golden balls and gold ribbons. The picture on the gold plate depicts two stylized birds on either side of the Tree of Life. Mystery is not only the origin of the earring, but also the history of how it was buried in West Jutland. According to experts, there have never been Viking settlements near the site. If you think that vampires and werewolves play a major role in medieval European myths, you are wrong, and this is very easy to prove. If we take into account the number of Christian saints almost in every smallest village scattered throughout Western Europe, and there are so many saints that they are found in almost every step, and most importantly, these are still respected and not robbed. This is exactly the discovery made by the American researcher of the afterlife, Paul Kudanaris, during an expedition during the forests of East Germany. The skeleton is decorated with real treasures. According to the researcher, the remains were found in an abandoned chapel in the middle of the forest. It turned out that no one had visited this place for a long time, and the real shock was not the discovery of the skeleton, but the fact that it was all in gold and holding a bottle with the remnants of his own blood. Who was this man dressed in precious clothes will forever remain a mystery. And strange as it may seem, for European civilization, such worship is normal. After all, human remains were the strongest argument for the Catholic Church to attract followers. Attributing incredible abilities to the skeletons, the priests declared them as holy relics and exhibited them for money, earning incredible sums. As a rule, any skeleton that was tentatively dated to the time of the birth of Christianity was considered sacred. The greatest argument of holiness was considered to be the letter M depicted near the body, or a small bottle that the deceased held in his hands. According to the priests, this is the most important sign of the divinity of the relics, because only the blood of the saint was buried in the graves. Although, in fact, in those bottles was a favourite perfume of a dead man, and it was intended to please the gods. The Mediterranean has always been one of the richest regions in the world. It received this status thanks to the powerful ancient civilizations that existed on its shores. From the very beginning of history, many Mediterranean islands have served as a place of trade in goods from around the world. So it is not surprising that they find the largest number of treasures belonging to different civilizations. Stunning gold ornaments made during the reign of Nefertiti were found in 2 Bronze Age tombs that lay hidden for 3,000 years in Cyprus. The lotus flower pendant is made in the shape of a lotus flower inlaid with precious stones. It's one of the treasures found at this place and resembles the jewellery worn by the ancient Egyptian queen of the 18th dynasty. Along with luxurious jewellery, the team also found the remains of 155 people and a set of 500 items. The hobby of searching with a metal detector is becoming increasingly popular in the world, and the main thrill is not the findings, but the feeling of the unknown that overwhelms a person when the detector starts to beep. Of course, the vast majority of finds for fans of active recreation are scrap metal, but sometimes the chthonic deity of seekers, Earth Grandpa, rewards them with incredible treasures. This time, on a hike with a metal detector, Kat Giles of the Isle of Man had no idea what she would find, a Viking treasure that was more than 1,000 years old. Kate's joy knew no bounds because she found not the usual scrap or lost pennies, but a cache of gold rings, large silver brooches, at least one silver headband, and other related valuables. It's believed that they were buried around 950 AD. At that time, the Isle of Man was the centre of an important trade and economic zone, and continued being a trade hub for another 300 years. The incredible value of the treasure is that experts still cannot determine its value. The Vimanas, the description of India's ancient nuclear wars. The incredible iron pillars that never rust seem so fantastic to us that we do not really believe in them. However, is the ancient Indian epic complete fiction? Is there material evidence for what is described in the Indian sacred texts? Remains of the long-lost gold island from tales of man-eating snakes, volcanoes spitting flames, and Hindi-speaking parrots were found in the Musa River near Palembang. Divers explored the muddy bottom of the river and pulled out hundreds of statuettes, temple bells, tools, mirrors, coins, and poetry. They found gold sword hilts and golden ruby rings, carved jugs, wine jugs, and peacock-shaped flutes. All these treasures point to one thing. Scientists have found the lost city of Shrivadaya, once a rich and powerful port along the ocean trade route between east and west. Shrivadaya, ruled by powerful kings, controlled the Strait of Malacca between the mid-600s and 1025 until the war with the Indian Kloa dynasty destroyed the city, as mentioned in the Hindu chronicles. Once again, we are amazed by amateur archaeologists armed with metal detectors. They are looking for the remnants of ancient civilizations. Even they do not seek them, and this time they are lucky in Denmark. The treasure was found in Windel, a town about 150 miles from Copenhagen. It includes coins of the Roman Empire, as well as medallions known as bracteatus, which were sewn to clothing and worn as jewellery. The most valuable part of the treasure is that it gave some eye on the era that predicted the Viking Age. Although scholars have guessed that it existed in the days of the Roman Empire in Northern Europe, another empire, in a find in Windledge, has only confirmed their theories. Not only ancient civilizations can impress with treasures, but nature itself sometimes gifts people with incredible discoveries. An emerald weighing 5,655 carats or 1.1 kilograms was found in Zambia. It had excellent transparency and a perfectly balanced golden green hue. The gem was found in the world's largest emerald mine, Kagem, which is 75% owned by the Gemfields Group of London and the government of the Republic of Zambia. The emerald was named Inkalamu, which means lion in the local Bemba language of Zambia, and was sold in Singapore after being cut into smaller stones. And again, we present a treasure found by amateur archaeologists with the help of a metal detector, and this time another incredible medieval artifact. The Memento Mori gold ring with an engraved skull is one of 9 stunning medieval items found in Wales. The next unique find from there was a clasp with double hooks in the Anglo-Saxon style. Other treasures consisted of gold and silver coins. All the finds were discovered by metal detectors in Powys and the Glamorgan Valley and were declared treasures of the National Museum of Wales. The fall of great empires always brings trouble to their citizens, forcing them to flee away from turbulent events. This is what happened to the inhabitants of ancient Rome when the Eternal Empire was divided into East and West. We will never know whether people from war-torn Spain fled, but extreme divers found the hidden treasure 1,000 years later. After finding a total of 8 coins, the brothers divers reported the find to the authorities and returned to the site with archaeologists from the University of Alicante, the Solar Archaeological and Ethnological Museums. Well-preserved coins depict emperors: Valentinian I, Valentinian II, Theodosius, Arcady, and Honorius. 3 copper and lead nails were also found, which are the remains of a ship's box containing coins, even there were no signs of a shipwreck nearby. If we tell so much about amateur archaeologists with metal detectors, we cannot help but tell about the oldest treasure in Britain, the Ringlemere Cup. Ringlemere Cup is a vessel of the Bronze Age, 14 cm high, with corrugated areas. At the site where the cup was found, archaeologists have discovered a burial site from the early Bronze Age. Ringlemere Cup was buried in a round mound near the tomb of an important leader and was a sacrifice for the gods. According to experts, the golden cup belonged and was created as work of art in a very early historical epoch in Britain during the Anglo-Saxon period. Well, are you already interested in finding treasures with a metal detector? If so, then buy this device. Take advantage of the good weather and go for treasure hunting. As you are convinced, fans find not only tons of scrap metal, but also incredible things that become worthy exhibits of the best museums in the world. And how many more such discoveries are waiting for their time? Only the Earth knows about them and carefully keeps the secrets that we will tell you. And as always, press like. If you've not subscribed, subscribe and ring the bell to keep notifications of the most interesting events in the world of archaeology.